I asked DeepSeek to revise this whole investigation for style and verbal delivery. What I got back totally shocked me. A week ago, I was sitting on the beach and I wanted to record a YouTube video based on the investigation to the cyber unit of Unit Tuna Wi-Fi 5. It was a long investigation that I had published on The Insider, and I wanted a shorter, more narrative version to use for my YouTube video. I decided to experiment by asking not ChatGPT and not Gemini, but the Chinese DeepSeek model to do that for me. And I asked it to revise this whole investigation for style and verbal delivery, but not to change anything about it. I received a revised version that it said preserved the original content and only slightly fine-tuned the style, except it had nothing of the original content.
You serious?
The whole story was totally invented out of thin air, and it talked about the West's cancellation of Russian culture after the war in Ukraine and how this is going to backfire against the West. I thought that there was some technical mistake, and I asked DeepSeek, can you tell me whose story that you've just converted into this text? And it said, oh, that's your story based on the link that you just sent me, and it printed back the link. I clicked on the link. It was my version of the Insider story, which had nothing to do with cancellation of Russian culture. I started arguing with DeepSeek back and forth, asking it to acknowledge its mistake. It did acknowledge the mistake, but continued pushing back the same Kremlin narratives, the same thing that you would expect to find on Russia Today or on Sputnik or on Central Russian Television, but not from an LLM model that is supposed to just work with public data and your instructions. Now, many people in my Twitter thread suggested that it's an inherent problem of DeepSeek that it cannot access the internet live, but it should have told me so if that's true. And it's also not true that no model can access the internet live. I asked the same question of other LLM models, and they provided a very, very authentic version of the narrative, but not DeepSeek. Give your opinion in the comments below and let's talk about it.